We're continuing to cover the fallout from the FBI raid of Lago, a federal judge ordering the release of that search warrant affidavit pending approved redactions. This while the Senate Judiciary Committee ranking member Chuck Grassley warns of a deeply rooted political infection within the FBI. Oregon Congressman and member of the House Judiciary Committee, Congressman Cliff Bentz, joins us here. Congressman, welcome to the program, and I appreciate you being with us. There's a lot to break down. First of all, are you supportive of the release of that affidavit, and how do you believe it will impact the case here?
Well, of course, I'm supportive for release of the affidavit, and I think it would be extraordinarily unfortunate if we don't get to see it soon. The affidavit, of course, would reflect the basis for the raid on Mar-a-Lago, and I must say we're all anxious to see what was in it that caused our Attorney General to decide to use what I would suggest is a dramatic overreach in assessing the records.
Your counterpart in the Senate, Senator Chuck Grassley on the Senate Judiciary Committee, he has been compiling a lot of reports from whistleblowers talking about a political infection, a political bias when it comes to particularly the Washington field office. He's not only requested a full organizational breakdown of the Washington field office, but he's telling Wray essentially in one of his many letters to prepare for future hearings. What sort of answers do we need to get from the FBI's Director Christopher Wray when it comes to looking at, again, a potential bias that exists within the FBI?
Well, we need to ask them why they used this technique to access records that had been technically available for a year and a half. I mean, there are many steps that could have been taken that were not. Why was this technique used? And knowing that if you're going to send the FBI after a former president, you're throwing gasoline on a political fire. Why was the FBI used in this fashion? There's many other ways they could have used. They could have taken the subpoena that was previously issued. They could have asked a court to look into that. They could have done other things. They did not. And so we need to find out if the FBI is acting politically, which it tends to do, and they should not object to any of this type of oversight. They should welcome it.
Yeah. And Senator Grassley has pointed out that there is a clear pattern of the cases that FBI agents determine to open or close, whether it was taking sufficient information when it came to Hunter Biden and his foreign business dealings, yet having insufficient information based largely on news articles to, again, open an investigation into Trump 2020 campaign officials. How are you seeing all of this right now?
Well, I really don't want to go off on the Hunter Biden situation. That's another story, or I hope another time, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of that. But when it comes to using the FBI to access a former president's home, there had better be a justification, not just in the affidavit, but also in the Attorney General's decision. He has prosecutorial discretion. Why did he determine that it was necessary to raid Mar-a-Lago? Why? And this is a much more, it would appear, political act than one that was justified by the law. Now, that's not to say he's going to come up with an affidavit, I'm sure, that contains probable cause, if you will, or just cause. But the real issue is, why did he choose, as the chief prosecutor for the United States, to use this technique to get these records? Why? He's going to have to justify this to the nation, and frankly, it looks political.
Congressman, is this something that you plan to get to the bottom of if Republicans indeed take back the House in November?
Well, of course, I'm not the ranking member. Jim Jordan's the ranking member now, and I would hope that he will be chair. It'll be up to him to determine whether he wants to pursue this. It would be a great surprise to me if he chose not to pursue it, but that's up to Jim Jordan.
All right. Congressman Cliff Pence, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.